And rumor has it we are live, even if our screens are all messed up all of a sudden.
Oh boy. What's up, y'all?
It should be audio issue free this week, you guys. We have chaos going on with adding a whole bunch of faces at once. But you should be able to hear us, which is super important, right? We haven't been able to do that in the past. So, good morning. Welcome. How are you guys? Jake is
I'm doing pretty good.
Jake is here as usual. Jeff is here as usual. Phil and Rob are live, which they are usually not, which is super cool. But Phil is jumping all over the screen.
Surprise.
He really does. He really does. All right. Well, welcome to the Big Byte.
I'm just moving my arms.
We got a little bit of a whole team today, so we're gonna try to roll through it. I might even take a couple people off at a time just because we got a lot of screens going at once here. But hey, audio check. Everyone can hear everyone. Yes.
Hey.
I can.
Check.
The screen is madness, but we can still hear everyone. So I'm gonna knock Rob and Jeff off so Jake can get right into his share. Rob, you have nothing to say, I'm sure.
Thank you. I work better with Rob not distracting me, so that's really helpful. I just wanted to start today off with this meme because you guys may not see it, but we're actually all calling in through Skype, and then Andy's streaming this through a different platform. So it's a new way of working for us, and this is just kind of my general feelings about it and about every day. I woke up today and there was like a piece of hair sticking out, so that's why I've got a hat on today. So let's get right into the shares, shall we? I will be probably the first person to tell you that I don't usually like a horizontal scrolling website. I think usually when you see them, it's people are just kind of scrolling a different way to be different. There's no real point to it. Sometimes they can be really well done with some parallax and some different things, but typically when I move my fingers up and down, I want the site to move vertically the way that I'm accustomed to it. But I found this site. The design is not, the aesthetic is not super great, but I think the purpose of showing this in a horizontal scroll, the user experience is really great, and it really gets across the point that it's trying to show. So this dot here is $1,000. This is all to scale. This is the median U.S. household income. This is $1 million. Here we've got $1 billion, and then as you keep scrolling, this is the wealth of Jeff Bezos. So as you scroll, it kind of will pop in some different facts. I'm scrolling as fast as I can to try to get to some of the fun facts. So they're trying to pull in some sort of message. Every 10 pixels you scroll is $5 million. So you continue, and they say, okay, we're coming up on an end now. Just kidding. We're only about a third of the way there. Keep scrolling. There's more to see. So if you keep scrolling, here is all of the money that you'll ever earn in your entire life. And I'm getting an audio echo. Am I just going crazy, or?
No, I'm getting that too.
It should be better now.
Awesome. Do not like the sound of my own voice.
Your voice sounds so great, Jake. And I think this wealth of Jeff Bezos is both terrifying and also somehow what I expected.
It's awful. This blue square here is all the money that you'll earn your entire life from the day you're born until the day you die. So I'm going to go through annual cost of healthcare for a family of 4. So as you can see, like the purpose of this horizontal scroll, it makes sense. And there's a lot of really interesting facts here. Like this is the annual cost of chemotherapy for all cancer patients. Just fits right in there. They've got some rich people in here. Goldman Sachs CEO, Beyonce, Tim Cook, or Tim Apple, depending on who you are. So a lot of different things here. You can see at the bottom, I'm not even close. Like this is my scroll bar right now. So they go through Jeff Bezos, and then they go through the 400 richest Americans with a bunch of facts, and it's a super long scroll. So I'm not going to belabor and scroll through. We'll send the link out. But again, just shows one of the reasons why, if the data makes sense and if the user experience makes sense, we can scroll horizontally and to really kind of pick those moments to make an impact. So I really liked that website. Yeah, I agree. This is the first link I had saved for this week. My second two links are actually I found them separately, and then I realized they were from the same company, from Icons 8, which is they've got some stock photos and also like a stock photo builder. So this first thing they're offering is their own custom emojis, and we've shared in the past that using the Apple or Android style emoji, even if it's what we're most familiar with, is actually technically it's intellectual property, and we shouldn't be using them in client projects and posters and things like that. So this is a way to kind of purchase in emojis that you can use royalty free after you purchase them, and you can see that they are trying to use a different mix of all of the different emojis. So this is clearly still in the same kind of family of styles, but it's its own style. So it's something that you'd be able to use for free. So keep in mind that that exists. There's other free versions as well. I know Twitter has one that's completely free to use, but these are the best looking ones that I've seen so far. So I really liked seeing that. And then from the same company, they're also they created this coronavirus press kit, and they use this photo creator studio, which I think David Baselli had shared in the past, which is where you can kind of pick the subject, pick the background, and it makes your own stock photo. So they were able to use that to kind of create these coronavirus types of
I like
images.
the surprise doctor
since a lot of
with the
brands
X-ray.
right now, looking at your lungs is not looking good, I guess. But a lot of brands are working from home. They don't have either the budgets or the capabilities to go and run their own photo shoots, but there's still advertising that needs to go on. So I thought this was kind of an interesting way to get the shot that you want that maybe didn't exist, but you create it yourself, and it's free for media, and you can also purchase, and they're donating to the COVID-19 response fund. So these are just two really modern, really timely things that Icons 8 was putting out that I appreciated. And my last thing, save, in my opinion, the most fun for last. This is called Say Hi, and it's a Chrome plugin. And the way that it works is you would log in with your Google accounts, your G Suite accounts from the company, and you can take either a selfie or a video of yourself, and it kind of puts it up into this plugin for anyone else who's logged in from the same company to be able to see. So it's right up here, and you can record your own, and then you can look at the team collage. So today it doesn't appear that anyone's done it, but yesterday I asked a friend to help me out to test it. So you can see I've got a video message, and then my awkward photo that I took of myself yesterday as well. So we'll send this link out. I know a lot of meetings I join, you'll see someone that maybe you're not in a ton of meetings with, and the first 5 minutes are always, oh my gosh, I miss seeing you. How are you? This is great. So this is just a way to be able to see people's faces. If you don't have those meetings with them, it just takes 2 seconds to take a quick video or snap an image, and then you can scroll through and simulate that perhaps you're in the office and that you get to see each other's faces. So that was nice. And even though I talk to Phil every day, still seeing his face on this, I was like, oh, Phil, this is so great.
Awesome. Well,
So,
speaking of Phil,
that's
he's
my
here in
today.
person, live, instead of a video. Or is it a video? Maybe it's a video of Phil that we're pretending is
Who
live.
knows? It's
Phil's an enigma.
AI.
He can't
I
be
can
boxed in.
respond in recorded video. I don't know.
Sure
Can you hear
can.
me? Always have to ask that first. Is it
It
my
is.
turn? Awesome. Okay. Share my screen real quick. My
Got
window.
it.
Awesome.
Looks right.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I shared an article about the app that Apple and Google are teaming up on for contact tracing, and there has been a few developments since then. So I just wanted to give you guys an update, and this one is really interesting because it actually gives you a look into the actual UI of this feature. But the first part of the article that I thought was helpful is that they have this list of information where they've kind of clarified a bit about how this will actually work. And so they say things about how it can only be used if it's an official government public health authority, things like that. There should only be one app per country that's using this to help it actually work so that it's not fragmented across several apps. And again, just clarifying that they can't actually read your device's location. It's really just using Bluetooth to see if you've been near a person that has tested positive for COVID-19. So again, helping with the privacy issues that come up with things like this. But what I thought was really cool was, like I said before, this look into the UI of how this will work. So hopefully you're seeing these images. I've zoomed in a little bit. But since this is Apple and Google teaming up, you can actually see how it compares between those two operating systems. So the first screen you're seeing here is where you would turn on your notifications for this feature for Android. And then on the next screen, you can see it for Apple, or you should. No, here we go. Here's the Apple one. So you can see it lays out all these phones, and these are just showing the different states. So this is interesting to see how like these big companies will present work like this. So personally for me, it's kind of like reassuring that we're doing something right here when we show the different states to clients like BMW who have a lot of interactions with the services that we design for them. But you can kind of see here on the left that you can share a positive diagnosis, and then it asks you for your unique test identifier. So that's kind of like weeding out any fake diagnoses. I don't know if that's a word.
Diagnosis?
Diagnosis? I don't know. You know what I mean. Or if it's a test that isn't authorized in some way by a public health authority, so it kind of weeds those out. And then you would put in the date that the test was done, and then you would have to give permission for the positive result to be shared with anyone that you came in proximity to within the last 14 days. So I won't go through all of these. I just kind of wanted to bring up this article to give you guys an update on it, and you can definitely look through it on your own. But what I like to see is that they are taking a lot of things that people are worried about with apps like these and kind of putting our minds at ease. And I think that's important because for something like this to be, a lot of people are going to be using. And I think as Doug mentioned in our meeting earlier this week, New York State is thousands of people to work on contact tracing. This is something that will help that effort, not require as many people and just make it more efficient. So now I'm going to move on to something that was fun. That I was emailed about by Spotify. So I feel like I share something related every week. They make some cool stuff. And what's interesting about Spotify, and what I personally found interesting is that since all these shutdowns have happened, streaming music initially decreased. I wasn't able to find information about whether it has increased as things kind of
at least not
but
recently.
moved
I was
on.
reading
But
something yesterday, Phil, it was both streaming and podcasting. So they're both down as far as just in general. But as of yesterday, nothing said they were skyrocketing back up yet.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense. Because a lot of people on stream music commutes, which aren't happening, and a lot of people are consuming more news right now. So music has kind of been put on the back burner. But what Spotify has done previously is kind of been known as like the on-the-go music service. So now they're kind of trying to reposition themselves to just have a little bit of fun with the fact that we're staying home, can still be together in a way. Basically, what this website is they put together is two people starting to play the same song at exactly the same time. So if you click explore, it's probably appearing jumpy on the screen, but it's fun to work with. Is there music playing? I don't know if you guys heard that. Music. Okay, I muted it. It was very loud on my end. But it'll play a song. And then it will tell you, 713
someone is
miles
listening to
apart.
that
Someone is
song
listening to that song somewhere else. So it's interactive. It's interactive.
fun.
And you can kind of scroll through the globe. Like, let's see, what are people listening to in Bentonville? 24. I've never heard the song, but the show. I like the show. 1,241 miles apart, you're listening to the same song. So just a way to make it feel a little bit more of a feeling of togetherness during these times. I thought that was fun. And it's really
That was really cool, Phil. And just to step back for a second on the user flow stuff you were sharing just a minute ago before that. I think that was a really interesting example too. That's something that we're going through, for the partners website right now, and you're very involved in that. And I know Courtney's involved in that, and she's here in the chat. But I think sometimes getting to expose the flow and the process of putting together an experience like that is really compelling and interesting to see as well.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. Right. That's all I've got. I'm going to pass it on to...
Yeah, I think we're passing it to
one of our
Rob
other
now.
friends.
Our other remote friend who's now here live.
Yes. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. As you kind of know, maybe from the past couple of weeks, I really enjoy sharing what the community is doing to help with all of this stuff. And I actually found an article last week about this startup company that was using the same exact technology that Warby Parker uses for the glasses to actually measure and then 3D print PPE for healthcare professionals, which was awesome. And then it got me thinking, what else is going on in the 3D printing community right now? And we came across this article, which I'm not going to go through because it is insanely long, but it shows a whole bunch of really, really cool projects that people have come up with. You'll see here is it's a hands-free door handle attachment, hand sanitizer holder, stuff like that. And it's showing how this particular farm right here with all of these amazing 3D printers. Andy, I'm sure this is probably really, really sexy for you.
It's very cool to look at.
They printed more than 5,000 pairs of safety goggles and donated them to Chinese hospitals and stuff. It's such a really, really cool thing. And it got us looking a little bit deeper into this. So we found that the National Institutes of Health have a whole bunch of different pieces that you would need for PPE that have actually been 3D modeled and donated by people of the community. So everybody's kind of just going out and they're figuring out ways to make the stuff that everybody needs, throwing everything in here for anybody to download and print themselves if they want to, face shields and whatnot. And it's such a cool way to see how everybody's jumping in and really, really just taking their passions or their hobbies and using it for something super, super good.
This is so cool, man. This is so cool. The one thing I would call out if you have a family member or somebody else who is into 3D printing, I was not familiar with this site, but there are other similar sites that have these assets available. The one thing that's really important to know is whether or not the facility that you want to make a donation to uses equipment that is totally lined up, with what you're printing here, because they might have different PPE devices that have kind of different measurements as far as where buttons go and hooks go and kind of all the small rickety-rackety stuff. And I know a couple guys in the 3D print community who'd printed the wrong stuff to deliver to their hospital. So then they were trying to figure out, well, I printed it all. Who can I send it to?
Right.
So just make sure if you or anyone wants to get involved in this, just do a little bit of research. You should be able to contact your local administrators, and they should be able to give you a better idea of what specifically. And fortunately, this site does a better job because it's got the actual model number and part number and stuff listed out, which is way more helpful than some of the. There's people who are trying really hard to be helpful for the community, but they don't have this level of detail. So this is actually a really awesome site, and I can't wait to share this with some of the guys that I'm doing 3D print stuff with too. So really cool.
Heck yes. Yeah, good note on that too, making sure that you're doing the right stuff. So moving on from this, another thing that we were kind of showcasing previously was we looked into AltSpace VR, which was the service that people were using to recreate their classrooms in, a 3D environment for their kids. This is another one that is very similar. It's called Immersed VR, and this one was it kind of grabbed my attention because they have created a virtual coffee shop so that you can actually work with your coworkers in a 3D coffee shop setting. So instead of us just, all being here on Skype or wherever we happen to be at the moment, we can all pretend that we're sitting in a super cool upscale cafe, and we can actually like share our windows and work together. And I know this kind of looks like they're all just sword fighting a little bit, dabbing. There was a dab there too. But this is just another cool thing. So if you happen to have an Oculus VR system, then you can download this for free and play around with it. Just another cool way to show how people are coming together.
Yeah,
so
really cool. That's really cool.
Fun stuff. And that's it for me. So I'm actually going to pass this on over to Hefe.
Yeah.
That's me. Cool. Let me share my screen here.
Yeah. Jeff, for some reason the stream can't hear you. I don't know why. We can all hear you in the chat here, or at least in our end of things. But I can try to rehash real time as you're going through it, so you can just keep going. I'll try to I'll try to color you. So think with Google piece, outlining shopping trends. So these are the percentages. I'm just filling in the chat. So these are the percentages of shoppers based on their region, both online and offline shopping. Which this is really interesting. We're actually, we have many SWAT teams in the company right now, but e-com is one of them. And there's this healthy discussion around what is commerce. Is e-commerce commerce? Are they intertwined? Are they still inextricably, separate in their own ways? But I think this is a great example of showing, like, look, as far as people are concerned, like humans don't think about it as, oh, I am purchasing this as an e-commerce. Like we just want to buy stuff, And I think that exactly. And now like e-commerce is obviously going to be in vogue just due to the nature of people being kind of stuck in and at home. So this is and influences what Americans consumers are buying online. So what does influence that? This would be very valuable to like a Greg Smith, Jeff is saying. So Snipcart is an easy to implement e-commerce tool where you can just add a few lines of code and essentially be able to integrate a product right into a page, which is really powerful because if you got somebody interested and then all of a sudden you're surfacing that call to action to actually go ahead and make the purchase, then suddenly you could drive that much more conversion because you have them in a really kind of active, hot state of mind. All right. Well, we're gonna let you guys hopefully get back to it a little early. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. If you want to do yourselves a favor and not struggle to find it in the future, hit subscribe because as soon as we go live, you'll just get the notification. And once Partners in Napier reaches 100 subscribers, we have just under 70 right now. So if a couple more people helped us out, we'd actually be able to change the YouTube URL to be /Partners in Napier. You can't do that until you have 100 subscribers. So please go ahead, drop a like, drop a subscribe. Thanks for checking it out. Appreciate you guys bearing with us. Live streaming, I think this is a great example. It's easy as one person, but when you start to try to get a community of people all talking at the same time, there's going to be some hiccups. But at least we were able to see everybody this week, hear from everybody except for Jeff this week. But if we can see and hear from Rob and Phil live and only see Jeff but not hear him, I feel like that's a fair trade-off. So. Hold on, wait, Phil. I want to bring you back. Can you, now that you're on the screen, can you agree again, Phil? So thanks again. Really appreciate you guys watching. We're gonna bother you with some more digital stuff next week, and you'll be able to hear everybody. Subscribe. Thanks. Check it out. See you later.